Most organizations, whether they realize it or not, have some cash hidden in their processes. This is not about squeezing your vendors or buying some fancy technology or taking some other steps to turn your AP department into a profit center, which, by the way, I don't think is a realistic goal, but I digress. This is about three steps any organization can take to find cash that they are leaving on the table. And you don't have to spend a red cent to do so. All you have to do is employ a little good old fashioned hard work. All right. Welcome to Accounts Payable Soundbites, the program where we share tips and explain simple and complex accounts payable issues in short, concise soundbites. I'm Mary Schaefer, AP Nail's founder, and while I'm a big proponent of using technology intelligently, I also believe there are some non-technology stuff that you can do to make your accounts payable operations more productive. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, three strategies. Strategy number one, do statement audits. This is a lot easier than you might think. And just FYI, it's usually the first step that an outside audit firm will take when you call them in to recover duplicate and erroneous payments. So, and you can do it. All it involves is, well, not all. It's a bit of work, but contacting your vendors, asking them for a statement that shows all open activity, and make a big deal about you want all open activity, not just open invoices. And then when you get that, recover the open credits that you may have on their on the statement audit on the statement. There may be more than you think. Now, I don't want to spend too much time because we're trying to make this a short video. We do have another video that goes into this in a lot more detail. It's not too long either. It's about 10 minutes, I think. And we'll have a link to it in the show notes. Okay, so strategy number one, do statement audits on a regular basis. Strategy number two, and this one has a huge caveat. So make sure that you stick around until the end where we go through what the caveat is before you try and implement this. And this is recover your unclaimed property from the states. So get on each of the states' websites where you might possibly do any business and do a search for your company name and variations on it. So if somebody made out a check that wasn't quite exact to your name, a little different, you can find that and then go and to the states and recover it. Each of them will have their own steps on how to recover it. Most of them will have a form that you have to fill out and it'll have to be signed, etc. But, do your due diligence, get the forms filled out, and then submit them according to whatever instructions each state has and recover that money. Now, the huge caveat, and I cannot tell you how huge a caveat this is, only do this if you are currently in compliance with the unclaimed property rules and regulations in that state. So in other words, you're reporting and remitting. Because if you find, let's say, $10,000 in a state and you go and you put in your claim, they'll give you the money back, especially if you owe it. But then they'll also check to make sure that you are currently reporting and remitting. And if you're not, it will trigger an audit. And let me tell you something, an unclaimed property audit, when you are not in compliance, is not a pretty thing. It's not something that you want to go through, and inevitably they will find money that you owe them, especially if you're not reporting and remitting. So yes, go ahead and claim that money if you're in compliance, but if you're not, obviously my best practice advice is get in compliance. Hire a consultant, hire somebody who's an expert in these matters and get in compliance. And then once you are, then go and claim your money. But until you are, don't think, oh, here's 150,000 for my company. That's great. The company, I'm sure, will appreciate the $150,000, but you'll end up with a lot of aggravation, and you'll probably owe the state several $1,000,000. So that 150,000 won't look so good anymore. Okay, so just remember that it's a place to find money, but only for those who are in compliance. Okay, before we get to our third strategy, I'd like to invite you to subscribe. It's free, completely private, and by ringing that bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube, you'll be notified anytime we post new accounts payable content. And of course, you can unsubscribe at any time that you may wish, which of course we hope you don't. And lastly, you don't need a YouTube account to subscribe on YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you can go ahead and use that, and that will work also. Okay, strategy number 3. Okay, should be a no-brainer, but I know most organizations are not able to do it, and that is earn all your early payment discounts. Okay, this is one of your best sources of cash. It's the best return on investment. And what you want to do is track all your invoices, all your vendors who offer early payment discounts. You want to fast track those invoices to make sure that you get them paid on time so that you can earn that early payment discount. Now you might say, well, why can't we just go ahead and take the discount? You might, but that's going to make for bad vendor relations, and more importantly, that vendor is probably going to try and recover those discounts that you took. They didn't used to do it in the past, but today, something like 95% of all vendors will go after that money. Okay. Now, there's another thing that you can do. First of all, you want to make sure you watch all your invoices closely, that you get all those discounts. But if you find an invoice from a vendor who normally doesn't give you an early payment discount, number one, take it. And then number two, you want to consult with your purchasing staff about that vendor and see if they can go back and negotiate with the vendor to get offered early payment discounts on all your invoices. Because if it showed up on that invoice, it means they're probably offering early payment discounts to some of their other clients. And hey, if other people are getting it, why shouldn't you? We share 5 more ways to earn early payment discounts in episode 118. We'll have a link below in the show notes. And on YouTube, a link will appear momentarily to the left. And as always, we appreciate those comments, those thumbs up, those subscribes, and those shares. So good luck, and hope you find some cash.